baby's got it. My baby's got it going on. My baby's got it. My baby's got it going on. My baby, she's so fine. I worry every time she gone. She's pretty as a picture. Treats me like a king. Walks into a room, puts a halt to everything. My baby got it. Baby got it going on. Baby, she's so fine. I worry every time she gone. Picture. Treat me like a king. Walks into a room and puts a halt to everything. My baby got it. Baby got it going on. And my baby, she's so fine. I worry about her every time she gone. Baby got it. My baby got it going on. Till she gone.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong chat. That would help if I actually connected to a chat, right?
Yeah, it would probably help.
Yeah, that would probably help. Way wrong chat. Yay, I'm not awake yet. Okay. Hey, everybody. I was in the wrong freaking voice chat. You can laugh at me now. It's okay. I'm 44 and sometimes I'm technically stupid. It's Tuesday. Let me see who I am saying good morning to today. We have a Wikipedia who was first, Tranime who says she's best, the hubby in the chat. Good morning. So I scroll down, I see a no name required. I see a Cyril Lee. And down here I see Reality Check and Stargazer. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing on this Tuesday morning? We're back to the regular schedule because Monday I have to recap what happened and, all the shit that broke loose on the weekends. Oh, morning, Jason. Morning, Tim. Welcome to the channel and the live chat. If you want to play around with my smart-ass bot, all you have to do is type exclamation point commands, and it will give you a link to go to for all the prompts so you can play around with Nightbot. And let me tell you, some are funny, and some are rather racy, but that's the way I designed him. I wanted him to be a shitlord in my live chat, to cancer up the chat a little bit, no matter the occasion, because we could all use a little bit of cancer and a little bit of laughs while we're going on our day, because, sometimes the news can be good, sometimes it can be bad, sometimes it can be completely abysmal. And it's always nice to have a little bit of fun in the chat. And if it doesn't work, I'll see what I can do about linking it in the thing, because sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. So, let me see, it's Tuesday. What did we do yesterday? We were hanging out, pretty much not doing it. Yep, I'm going to have to. Yep, it's being a pain in the behind. Alright, let me see if I can fix this. Nightbot, you dum-dum.
It didn't start having that problem really with
no,
Nightbot
it didn't.
until after they threw that quick fix in to fix that exploit.
Right?
So, it could be, that fix could be interfering.
It could be. It really could be. Let me see what we got over here. Because, it's not fun unless you can play around with the shitlord in the chat. And who better than a bot? In my opinion, anyway. Let me see here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let me see. Because it should be working, but apparently it ain't. At least it's not on my side this time. Let's see if that works. If not, then I'm going to have to come up with something else. Yes, I am checking it. Let me see. Some of the regular ones, maybe? Ah! That's what it is. Alright. I found it the problem. Dum dum dum. And let me see this. Exclamation point. COMMANDS. And now we have. Come on, Nightbot. There we go. Haha. There's the link. Now you guys can have a little more fun. Yesterday I started going through. Yep, this one, the one that Nightbot just touted out, should work. Yesterday, I downloaded the PDF, put it in my Word program to start sorting through how exactly they want to get rid of the rules that were put in place in 2015. And come to find out that, politicians like lawyers can't do anything short, sweet, to the point, and in layman's terms. It's 210 pages, and 8 of those pages was listing the case precedents and the history of how all this crap came about. So I weeded through that yesterday. I'm going to weed through a little bit more of it today and see how far I can get making talking points and pulling out all the important stuff as I go, because I want to get rid of all the verbose stuff in there so we can make it. Yeah.
Part of that thing. What does it exactly do? What does it going to limit?
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to prohibit, if anything? And what's it all mean for the rest of us?
Yep.
And this is I glanced through it myself just for a little bit, and it gave me a headache.
It does.
All the legal circling of the wagons is
and
overboard, I think.
every time they cited something, there was a link to the PDF, to the case, to the findings in the course, to the do all this, and you're like, oh my god. So I gotta read this, and skim this, and glance over that, and highlight this, and it's like, now I know why a lot of people don't like being lawyers, because there's way more research behind it. So, yeah, there's that. Was listening to the morning Kumite yesterday morning. I listened to it for the laughs. I listened to it for, sometimes there's some really good conversations and some really good points made on that show, but for the most part, it's just to listen to them go back and forth is an absolute hilarity in and of itself. And there were other things that I wanted to talk about that have left my brain because my ADD is like, yes, oh shiny, thank you. We talked about Bearing yesterday and Christy Winters, and people are still trying to figure out, some people from what I can tell are still trying to figure out why she would do such a thing, and it's Christy. Is there any other explanation than it's Christy?
I think that just about covers it.
I mean, only she would take the name that Bearing gave her, 50 splinters, and say it was sexual harassment.
Of course.
Because, Christy. Oh, that whole group has been obsessed with Bearing for forever and a day. They will not admit it. They will flat out deny it.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Lee, fisty gonna fist. They will flat out deny it, up, down, and sideways. But you go on their timelines, especially Christy's timeline and Christy's channel, and it's all about Bearing and Sargon. Yeah. I remember watching
There's
somebody.
so much about Bearing and Sargon out there and everything, and everybody's like, oh, Bearing said this, or Sargon did this, and he made mention of this, and and this is why it's so wrong. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, if we were to take a poll, over their fans,
Fistula Winters, I love that wiki.
Oh,
that's good.
That's pretty good.
If we were to take a poll, you wouldn't be able to pay anybody to come within 10 feet of her, with or without a poll.
Yeah, but we know this reality. I mean, don't worry about it. If we were to take a poll though, amongst Christy and Steve's fan base, mm-hmm. and the majority of YouTube in general, yeah, how many people are just tired of seeing them whine and nag about the same old thing? It's never a different argument. Nope. It's all, they might reword it a little here and there and everything, but it's the same repetitive BS that goes on all the time.
Yeah, and I watched a little bit of Fenn's. Oh, good morning, Jay Bronert B. How are you doing this morning? And welcome to my live chat and the morning brew. Another thing I wanted to discuss was I caught a little bit. I want to watch the rest of it today sometime. Of Fenrir's 200 sub celebration, where they were talking about Tree of Logic. Now, when I first got on this platform and I first found Tree, she was making good, solid content, and she was giving insight that a lot of people didn't give because, let's face it, being an ex-police officer, there was a lot more investigative work going on there as far as, she would point out mannerisms and things in videos and add little things that most people would overlook because of the investigative eye that she has of being a former police officer. And I will always have the utmost respect for first responders, police officers, and our military, because they put themselves in the line of duty every day, which is, to me, more of a calling than a career, because a lot of those jobs don't pay, in my opinion, what they should pay.
No, they don't. Yes, I love you.
And when Rage After Storm caused a hullabaloo with her race realist video, some black guy and Tree got into it on Twitter. Back and forth. More Tree than some black guy, because he didn't want to discuss it anymore. He had already discussed it. He already put his 2 cents in, and all he wanted to know was why Tree was backing up somebody who was not interpreting information right, and who was an out-and-out bigot against black people. and she just kept defending Rage After Storm. Well, I had tweeted out that Tree was being a bit irrational, I think was my term back then, that she was being irrational, that she wasn't really, thinking things through, in my opinion, because she was following me and we were following each other at the time. And apparently, some black guy blocked Tree because Tree kept going after him, calling him a coward and all these other names because he wouldn't debate her on the topic when he had already discussed it, if I remember correctly, with Kraut. So he didn't want to repeat himself. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to repeat themselves. I'm one. If I repeat myself in a video, it's probably because it's unscripted and my ADD has gone off on a tangent and I have to put myself back on track. But I digress. Derek blocked Tree. And then Tree took out a 2.5-minute video on Twitter basically begging Derek not to dox her because Derek was the only one that she was friends with on Facebook. Therefore, knows all of her public information and where she lives because, as an ex-police officer, there's cons out there that are looking for her. And I tweeted out, well, if he's really your friend, you should know that he doesn't dox people and he doesn't believe in doxing people. Well, guess what happened to me? I got blocked. Just by, calling her irrational and saying, well, if you really knew Derek like you claim to know Derek, you know he doesn't dox people. And so they went on, fast forward to this live stream that Fen reared. No, he's not a doxer. No, fast forward to this live stream that Fen had with Mitch the Ripper and a couple of other people. They were talking about an argument that they got into with with Tree on Twitter. Therefore, banning Trader Jax. Yes, this is back. Banning Trader Jax, banning Fen, banning, I think, the other person that was on the stream. So she blocked 3 more people. Tree blocked 3 more people. And she just went on a blocking spree. So Fen has nicknamed her the Mrs. Shives of Twitter. Because of the blocking spree that she went on. And I'm sorry. I'm not, unless you are being completely lewd. The only things I've ever blocked on my Twitter is somebody constantly being rude to me. Like calling me out of my name when I was just trying to have a conversation with them because I don't report people. I'll just block you. If I don't have to see your conversation, that's, I'm better off for it. 2, people that retweet naked shit and it lands on my timeline because I don't want to see titties and ass. And so I will block the accounts that the titties and ass are linked to and the person that keeps spamming me with the titties and ass.
Yes.
Which led to me blocking at one point Max Burr because he went on a tirade.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next day he apologized to me for it and said he wasn't going to do it again, so I unblocked him. Well, those are pretty much the only 2 instances. Oh, and if it's a bot. Those are pretty much the only instances that I'm ever going to block somebody on Twitter. Because, let's face it, I can give as good as I can get. But if I'm trying to have a conversation with you and all I'm getting is what a bad person I am, what a bitch I am, what a closed-minded ass I am, and those are the only rebuttals you have to my conversation, I'm not going to waste my time on you, period.
Yeah, there's no counterpoints, counter-arguments and everything, which, boils down to the general argument. I say this, and this is the fact, and you must accept this as the fact as I speak it. You put out a counter-argument, then the name calling ensues. This is because you can't post a counter argument to the counter that was just issued to you. If you have a problem with varying points of view and everything, and you only have one-sided argument with nothing really to fall back on later on, then normally it's best and everything to either go do some research or just drop it and say, you know what, it ain't worth my time.
Yeah. Sarah Lee says Tree needs to get away from the internet for a while. It really messes with you. I get that way myself sometimes. Yeah, sometimes we need a break. And I think what really rattled her, good morning, fuckwad, how are you, was the whole red pill black issue when that rolled around. Because she had the autopsy, the social autopsy website, and Tree got really scared as hell about being put on that site and being doxxed. Because, let's face it, whether you are currently a police officer or a retired police officer, the last thing you want is for people that you have put behind bars that have henceforth gotten freed from prison to come looking for your ass. It's never, a good thing, period. And I had a discussion with somebody the other day. I think it was Mitch the Ripper. Or it might have been Diz. I don't remember. That's my little ADD going on. That said that if you don't want to be doxxed, why do you want to be on the internet? Well, my counter argument was there are plenty of people on YouTube creating content. You've never seen their face because they use avatars or they use stock photos on their videos. You hear their voice, but you never see their face. One such instance is Cognitive Thought goes out of his way to hide his identity, even when he's on live streams and quote unquote showing. Okay, it wasn't you. That means it was probably Mitch. But I could be wrong on that too. He goes out of his way not to show his face. And many content creators are like that, and I understand and I respect their privacy, and I am never going to be one to dox someone. Because it's unscrupulous. There's no reason for it. There should not come a time, if you have been interacting with these people and they are decent people, for you to dox them over a simple disagreement. Never. A disagreement is just that. A disagreement. Morning, Staggerson. How are you? Doxing should never happen under a case of a simple disagreement. Now, there are more serious things. Social wreck. Milk toast at best. There are...
You know what, social wreck and everything, I'm just started having a chance to listening to your hour of power every morning with Maddy and everything. And
Morning, Foxy.
I enjoy the shit out of it, so keep up the good work.
I mean, there are reasons why people don't want to be doxxed and why people hide their faces. People in the military that create content on YouTube are sometimes disagreeing with the government that they serve after taking an oath to uphold the Constitution, and that could get them, in some cases, dishonorably discharged. So, I understand the reason for avatars, and I understand the reason for anonymity on the internet. But don't sit here and, be afraid of being doxxed when you're showing your face on just about every video on your channel, because with the technology we have today, you can do a video from your car, and if the person is savvy enough, they can locate that shit. And they can find you if they're really determined to find you. Yes, a dog exists somewhere. So, that's my whole take on the doxing thing. And, let's see. I think from then on, we're going to hit the news. So let's get on with that. And I can thank Ericor for that transition, because Ericor made my lovely transition. So I'm going to scroll down here, unclick the first of a series of little pictures. There we go. And get to the point where I can actually see my Evernote. Sometimes Evernote cooperates, sometimes it does not. Let me see here. Here we go. It's working. Let me open this up a little bit more. Okay. U.S. top court says no to Maryland assault weapons ban. Guns rights supporters, like the National Rifle Association, suffered a blow by the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday as it refused to hear a challenge to a Maryland assault weapons ban after a Connecticut... Yeah, I spelt that all wrong. And it's... screw it. School shooting. The court said no to an appeal by several Maryland residents who argued the ban goes against the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment. The same court also declined a challenge to a Florida ban on open carry. Though the Supreme Court... There we go, scroll it down. Though the Supreme Court has tried avoiding ruling on any gun issue, the recent shootings... See, sometimes I don't proofread my shit. The recent shootings at a Texas church in Las Vegas have actually spurred them to do so. Sandy Hook was also mentioned among the gun incidents. The challengers of this law sued Maryland's governor in 2013. They also appealed to the 4th District Court of Appeals in Richmond, Virginia, which stood behind the law. The 4th District Court called the assault weapons, that are actually semi-automatic rifles, weapons of war, and found little evidence to supporting the weapons as a method of self-defense. The Supreme Court left in place 2 semi-auto rifle bans in both New York and Connecticut. Ban all the banning. Let me see. Jay Bronnert. Well, yeah, if they allow people to abuse their children, then how can they ban guns? Yeah, I can see that. You know, it's just, to me, it goes, hello, good morning, and welcome, Lenuggets. How are you doing this morning?
Well, here's the thing. This is and here's my view on the whole assault rifle ban. I think you should be allowed to use them, to own them. However, on the flip side, I see, you know, these more densely populated areas. People that aren't trained well with those and everything, there's the potential for a lot of collateral damage. If anybody's never fired one before, an AR-15 with a 5.56 millimeter round will basically shred the interior of a home. And the shoddy way they basically build these homes. We're in a brick structure right here. It's not gonna come in here. AK-47 round ain't gonna come in here.
No.
Too well made. This place was built back in the mid-40s. But with the current way that houses are constructed and everything, yeah, it could rip through a wall. It could go through the wall of your structure and everything, and into the neighbor's structure next door.
Yeah.
They build them close.
Yeah.
You know, and there could be an issue. I can see city ordinances saying that, you know, your restrictions on where they can be possessed.
Yeah. And
at
Neil.
any one given time.
Neil says we should ban bogus words and laws like assault rifle, while Jason Braziel says AR does not mean assault rifle. No, it's basically a semi-automatic rifle. Fuckwad says AR equals Armalite rifle.
Yep.
Foxy says if we put up the Mexican border wall, then illegal gun running can be stopped and gang members would have the harder time getting weapons. Boom, build the wall if you want gun control. Yep. I can get behind that. I can get behind that because I mean it's our argument that they keep trying to debunk is when you outlaw guns, only the outlaws will have guns.
Yeah.
Well,
they're not saying you can't own a gun there. They're just saying, you know, that there are certain types of guns that you cannot possess while you're there.
Yeah.
Again, and you know, personally, I don't need an AR-15. I'm going to eventually own a few different assault rifles, but you know, I don't need that. I can do anything I need to do with a revolver. You bring more than 6 and everything, I can reload pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Morning, Irate. Thank you, and welcome to my live chat, Irate Prostate. How are you doing this morning? And henceforth, welcome to the news.
Exactly, Trina May. The best gun control is using both hands and the ability to hit your target.
Yes, they have. They will always find a workaround. Let's see. Our Staggerson Jack said, "You really think the wall will stop them? Lol, they already have tunnels. They will always find a way around. That's why they have coyotes for illegal immigration, and you know other means of getting here illegally by bribing truck drivers and jamming 20 million people in a 53-foot trailer, in hopes that they will get to where they need to go. But you know, to me." It's when you use the term assault rifle, you're doing it deliberately to strike fear in people because it's not much the rifle word, it's assault.
Okay, Cerulli, here's the thing. Your mom's buying a handgun for Christmas. She wants a pink one. I hope it's a 380 or a 25 automatic. 22 is actually a dangerous caliber. What happens with a 22? It has no stopping power. But when it hits, if it strikes a bone and everything, it will ricochet around inside the body. Foxy says she owns 5 AR-15s. They must have different kits on them.
Yeah.
And everything set up for different things. People always asked me, so, well, why do you want 2 or 3? Well, you set each one up differently for specific purposes and specific reasons.
Yeah. Let me see. Our own Hellbound says Amos Yee and Rain.
Well, 223 is now the 5.56. And everything. Not much difference in the calibers there. But 223 is pretty good and everything. And is that a true AR or the Bushmaster series from Colt? Irate.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I grew up around, and before anybody asks, yeah, I grew up around guns. I've handled just about every firearm that has ever been produced at one time.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Hellbound, our own Hellbound Iscariot says Amos Yee and Ranthony are having a live stream tonight. Okay, here's my 2 cents on Amos Yee. I believe he is a Poe. I believe he came back to YouTube after getting out of jail and coming to America to start shit, and he is accomplishing his mission. Because if he is true to his convictions about lowering the age of consent and saying 10-year-olds can consent, he is the most demented individual I have ever tried to watch a video of. Amos Yee needs no more attention. He doesn't need any more airtime. He doesn't need anybody responding to any more of his videos. Because I believe he's a Poe. He's overrated and he's been overhyped. Those are my 2 cents on Amos Yee, and that's probably all you're ever going to hear from me about him. Alright, TransCanada to restart pipeline Tuesday. TransCanada, after reviewing its repair and restart plans, stated it will be resuming the pipeline operations at reduced pressure and increase the flow slowly. This comes almost 2 weeks after the line leaked 5,000 barrels of crude oil in the rural parts of South Dakota. The pipeline, which shunts 590,000 barrels a day, was shut down after the spill. Through their efforts, the Calgary-based company has been able to clean up 1,065 barrels of oil so far. Brian Walsh with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources of South Dakota says the cleanup, quote, is going as fast as we would hope, and they are working 24 hours a day. The spill happened after Nebraska put its stamp of approval on the XL pipeline to go through their state. Now, like I've already said yesterday, a lot of the media is using this as a reason not to have the XL pipeline, and they conveniently leave out the information that it was the older part of the pipeline that needs to be revamped that actually leaked the crude oil. Yeah. Okay? We have several pipelines already running through the United States. One more pipeline isn't going to make a difference as far as environmental impact is concerned. It is a safer way to shunt the crude oil to the refineries in order to refine them into oil for your car, gasoline, and the byproduct of diesel fuel that fuels 18-wheelers all across the country. And yes, I am accurate in saying that. Diesel fuel is
the garbage.
The garbage after the refinery.
That was the refuse that used to be thrown away back when the first gasoline engines were produced. It wasn't until many years later that someone decided that, hey, with just a minimal amount of processing and everything, we can make that. I can build an engine that will run on this.
Yeah.
It's the engines put out way more torque, which is why they're the best for pulling heavy loads. And it's one of those things where the price of diesel, and if you watch carefully, many of us in the industry know this, but the cost for your household items fluctuate with the cost of diesel. Why? Because I don't care what you get or where you get it from.
Yep.
It shows up there on a truck.
Yep.
Someone like me has to deliver it to your local neighborhood store.
Yep. Neil says diesel is interesting though in that you don't need sparks. Heat plus compression triggers an explosion on its own.
Yep.
Let me see. Foxy, then how will the pipeline bother anything? Because she asked me if it was underground. I said, yep. Damn animals won't even know it's there. Exactly. That's why they want to do it underground.
Yeah.
And if you want to know, somebody that watches my show every morning by the name of Base Mama, it is an way older video in terms of internet. She actually did 2 or 3 videos on the XL pipeline. One of them was highlighting all the trash and waste the protesters left behind in the area.
Oh, yeah.
And the dangers the protesters actually made to the environment. Due to them leaving their trash everywhere, which was really interesting to watch. Yes, Base Mama's great. I love Base Mama. I missed streaming with her. I gotta see if I can get on another stream with her. Okay, Bali volcano spits ash 2.5 miles in the sky, and the airport is closed. And there goes my Evernote screwing up again. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right. Mount Agung, a volcano known to have a dubious history, continued its eruption as it spit ash 4,000 meters, 2.5 miles high, stranding thousands of tourists for yet another day. The eruption started Monday. The lava is welling in the crater, and experts cannot say how long it will last. Hundreds of thousands of people have been told to leave an area 10 kilometers or 6 miles from the volcano's crater. The last time it erupted was in 1963, and it killed approximately 1,100 people. This has prompted officials to extend the closure of the Bali airport another day for fear the ash could choke the jet engines. Which it could. Tens of thousands of passengers were stranded as they watched more than 440 flights be canceled. At last count, the cancellations have stranded almost 60,000 people in Bali. So that's the news for the day. Let's see here. Yep, she and I had a really great conversation about how the EPA often makes things worse when they try to fix shit. That was really, yes. The problem with the EPA is, in the course of small businesses trying to open or new construction starting, the EPA has had so many regulations that they have to enforce that you need a shit ton of money just to cut the ribbon and start on new construction on businesses, whether they be small, medium, or large businesses, because of the strict rules that these things have to be constructed under. Trump wants to lessen a lot of these restrictions to make it easier for businesses to do new construction, and I agree with that. Now, as long as the business is not impacting the environment in a negative way, then I don't see the problem of the business existing. Okay? It's when you come up on the scene with a list longer than your arm of regulations you have to follow for a business that can often kill a business before it even gets off the ground. And that is one of the main problems with the EPA, in my opinion. Way too many frickin' regulations. You know? So, there's always that to be said. Let me see. Jason, streaming the last bit, hopefully, to a bad Leisure Suit Larry game with the lovely Miss... Ah, okay, cool. I will be able to shout that out. And speaking of shout-outs...
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries!
Alright, let's get this started. Oops, that's the wrong one. That'd be the wrong one.
That be the wrong one?
That'd be the wrong one. Alright, let's see here. First on our list, if you like League of Legends and you like lore in your games, then Necrit is the channel for you. He's been keeping up with the developing lore of League of Legends, the areas and the champions and their backstories. And he's a wonderful storyteller, almost minstrel-like, if I must say so. And one that he came out with was The Mountain, talking about Mount Targon and its lore. The video is about 15 minutes long, but it goes by very, very quickly. It is a video to check out. And though it doesn't look like I'm subscribed to him on my main channel, I am subscribed to him on my Madness Live channel, which is why I go there every once in a while to get stuff that is not anti-related. Necrit has a lot of these lore videos where he's about to do Cho'Gath, so keep an eye on it.
Yeah, keep an eye out
Yep.
for Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is one of the ones that's upcoming.
He did the entire Shurima lore.
Yeah.
He's working on Targon now. Cho'Gath is on the way. Oh, he even did the Evelyn lore. He covered the Evelyn lore recently, her new lore.
Yes, and there's actually 2 videos that delve into both Evelyn and Vayne, and they're intertwined and everything. So
yeah,
check those out.
And he also did Darius lore and Draven lore. And those are also 2, I believe, videos that are intertwined. Because he literally tells you in that lore to go watch another one and then come back.
Yep.
So he is a very good storyteller. So check out Necrit and give him your attention. And give him, a like and maybe a sub.
A little love here and there.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Second one on the list is SoloRenektonOnly, playing one of my favorite top laners, Shen. Shen is strong this preseason because of the runes and because of his rework. I have played him before his rework and after his rework. And after his rework, the mechanics got a little more difficult, but he's still fun to play. And they did increase his damage output a scotch in that he now does % health damage to people with his Q, which can really chunk people down.
Hellbound asked a question.
What's with the pipeline? People have been protesting about the Keystone XL pipeline Hellbound, saying that it is going to negatively impact the environment. The pipeline is an underground pipeline which shunts oil from the sand fields of Canada to refineries in the U.S. in order for it to be shipped to both Canada and the U.S. to
be converted to fuel.
To be converted to fuel, whether that be gasoline, diesel, oil for your cars, or whatnot. Funny because I heard that protesters denied the littering accusations. Well, you can't deny it when there's video and photographic proof.
Yeah.
So like I said, if you go to Base Mama's channel, she's got all the photos of everything and the messes that they made.
Put out, the actual tribe put out videos and things like that of the mess that they left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 3 months of cleanup
that
went on up there?
3 months they had to get it cleaned up before it impacted the water table. The pipeline will be way better than using trucks, Sarah Lee said.
Exactly,
yes!
because there's too many things that can go wrong with a truck.
Exactly.
Anybody that drives anywhere can absolutely see and know that, the way traffic is now, anything can happen, and
we're just about done, Reality Check. I know his 10-minute music montage has probably ended by now. Alright, next one on the list. Little VHS of horror. If you ever wanted to know what it looks like when a Beardbarian does a dating profile video, this is the video to check out. It's cringy, but it's funny at the same time. And it is from our lovable Beardbarian, so go check him out. And the last one is from Theron Meyer, who asked the question, is Jordan Peterson actually against free speech? She's alluding to a panel that was done recently to where him and other panel members uninvited someone that was supposed to speak because this particular person was on a show with a known white nationalist from that, the Daily Stormer website. She goes into the fact that they uninvited him and rebutted the reasons why and gave alternate explanations as to why that person didn't do the interview that most people were expecting her to do. So that's a really good video to watch too. And those are the recommended videos. Okay, in our funny or cancer. And it's going to look goofy for a while until I open up this one. Alright, and yeah, it's still looking goofy because it's being a pain in the royal behind this morning. So, blip, as OBS tends to do. After a few adjustments, we should be alright with our memes this morning.
You got to see what the Nuggets put.
3 more weeks of treatments.
No, it's the fuck cars. There, I said it. You happy? And I'm still not proud of the burns the tailpipe.
Still doing the music? Okay, thanks, Tim. Alright, so here we go. First meme for our funny stuff today. When people ask us here at Dump Day what it's like to make memes all day, we're like, imagine you can walk around drunk all day. Me trying to convince my husband and his friends they can make their own dinner. Apes. Together strong.
Oh no.
What's it like shopping in Canada? Always fresh. We're sorry. The closest I get to a spa day is when the steam from the dishwasher smacks me in the face. If you sew eyes onto a cat bed, it looks like a monster eating your cat. Oh my god. The only drug I could afford in college. Oh my god. Ground ramen noodles. Me forcing myself to save money and actually cook from home instead of going out to eat. The awkward moment when you're putting lotion on your legs and it looks like you're wearing plastic leggings. Some people will say it looks like you're coming on yourself, but it's just me, I guess. My 2-year-old just pooped without breaking eye contact with me. Apparently I will look back on these years with such fondness. The awkward moment when you suspect your man might be having an affair with the world's largest woman. When you just realize you forgot to wake up your mom more than 5 times last night. When my husband can't find something even though I've told him exactly where it is. Because we stick together, we can work anything out. Oh my god, that is not necessarily the kind of time you want to have a bromance moment, but okay. Me watching the new guy get yelled at by our boss. When you've been lying to a woman online about owning a sports car and now she wants to actually meet you, so you're like... Yeah, that's not gonna work, buddy. Sorry. Oh my god. I call bullshit! Real life mermaid. If I've learned one thing in this life, dick gets everyone into trouble. What a way to start a chapter. When my man is doing something dumb and I'm trying to decide if he's serious or not. The roses you got may have dried, but my love for you will continue to bloom. My fat butt honestly thought she was showing me a tray of fried chicken. Jesus. The awkward moment when you're at a fashion show and you meet the god vegans worship. I never understood those fashion shows. Coworker, I just got engaged to the love of my life. I also got promoted to manager. Oh, and my son got accepted to Harvard. Me. I can finish an entire bottle of wine by myself. And that is the funny stuff for today. Let's see here. We got the live stream announcements. Because we cannot end the show without live stream announcements. Oh, phooey. And I just... He's got to go potty.
I know.
Alright. Our dear Rhetorical Entertainment between 7:30 and 8 in the morning has his Rhetorical Sunrise. All times are Eastern Standard Time because I live in Georgia and that's the way I roll. Social Rec has his Hour of Power starting at 9. Kumite at 11. Carlos Castrejo for your latest in Archeology at 5 p.m. Grab a beer and chill with Jason's Pub as he plays a game with Miss Steam at 8 p.m. tonight. PeninaChan. No, Central Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. our time. Penina plays Cuphead at 8 p.m., followed by Southpark Fractured But Whole at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have seen her play the Southpark game. That Southpark game's hilarious. And then Lords of the Night at 9 p.m. So you have your choice of shows. And I am going to do this, and I am going to go over to where I have my doohickey. Because yes, doohickey is a technical term. I'm going to edit the video. And I'm going to stick this in the description because I can. Alright, saving changes. Now, magically, you guys should have the description up underneath.
Later, G.
Yep, see you guys later. Alright, so there we have it. News, fun, shout outs, and all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna... And Zeus, who's got to go to the bathroom, apparently. Ha ha. Alright. Thank you for hanging out, G. Yeah, the super bounce. There are many ways to support my little channel and its sister channels. The tip jar is below since Nightbot is no longer doing my shilling for me. You can tip me down below. You can go to my website and find out all the other ways that you can support me, including joining an email list where at the beginning of the year you will see an exclusive chapter by chapter story. Also be the first to be in on flash sales and also early release parties for any novels that I am about to release in 2018. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, my friends, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have a totally terrific Tuesday. Take care, my coffee nuts.